Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Off Track 7. Today we're going to be talking about Fire Emblem Three Houses. One thing that I almost always hate in video games are self-insert protagonists. To me, I think that they kind of take away from the stories that they're usually inserted into, and that they're usually the only characters who have zero substance behind them. You usually don't know much about their background because they have to be, effectively a blank slate. So what we know about their past is usually very limited, and over the course of the game, you usually don't get to interact much with any facet of their past. And if you do, it's usually kept at a minimum. I think the reason why self-insert characters fail, especially in these types of games, games like Fire Emblem Three Houses, in which there's a robust social aspect to the game, which, social quotation marks, since, you're still on your goddamn device talking to 3D characters, but social in the fact that most of the characters in the game have some kind of story that goes along with who they are, that informs the player on, what kind of actions they'll be cool with and what other actions they won't be cool with, what kind of people they are. Usually these games make an attempt to give you the illusion of option by, giving you dialogue options that usually don't end up affecting the story much at all. Things that you say to these characters, regardless of the types of personalities these people have, your relationship with them won't really change. Even if it's something that's completely egregious that would end the friendship, it being a game means that they can't really do that. But I think that there are certain mechanics in these types of games that used to be implemented in the past that we could bring back to make sure that there is some type of consequence for not paying attention to these characters and, who the game tells you they are over the course of the game. Because through interactions in P3, you used to be able to tell what you could or could not say to certain characters, and if you didn't pay attention, you could potentially have a social link reversal, in which case it would kind of like stop growing. I remember when that first happened to me in P3. I think it was with the library girl, the one that had a cameo in P4. And when it first happened to me, I was so surprised. I was just like, what? There are consequences? I can't just go around saying whatever I want. I think like reversals were probably like the way the game told you, yeah, what you just said, you were just not paying attention to the social link for the past hour, were you? I think that was a really cool implementation of that, because it just informs the player that, your choices actually matter to some degree. Like the things that you're saying, you're not just sitting here wasting your time. You have to actually sit here and actively engage with this aspect of the game, which, in most other games who do present you with the choice, you really have to engage with that aspect of the game, because you could really just make the game go full auto. Just like choose whatever option comes up whenever it does come up, not really going to change anything anyways. But, in subsequent games in the Persona series, they took that part out of the game. So it's not like it's still a core part of the series. I just think it's a good thing to look at in terms of like what could happen between like supports or, social links to make it feel like that aspect of the game actually, like the player input actually matters. Now, I understand when there's a support between two other characters in which those characters are, allowed to be characterized so that they're allowed to have their flaws and things that they do like and don't like, the dude being super loyal and Shamir not giving a fuck. Seeing those two kind of talk and present each other with their own different worldviews is interesting, because you get to understand an aspect of the character and how they would interact with the people around them, which, you can't really get a good sense for with self-insert characters, because they could really just be anyone the plot or the social link or the support needs them to be for that particular character. They're not really allowed to be who they are and help the character. Despite that, they're just whoever the character really needs in that moment, whoever that person may be. That's who the self-insert gets molded into, which makes characterization really a lot difficult in the game. It makes it hard to get invested into them unless you expand the character outside of the lore, which is what P3 and P4 got to do, because they've been around for a long time. P4 had its animation, which established you as like a sister complex, kingpin of steel type of dude. Those people in anime that usually will do anything to protect their kid sister.
Then again, Nanako-chan always was precious to you, so...
Yosuke, it's true that this is a battle you have long desired. But I have something I want to say first.
A battle I long desired?
I thought that there would be no reason for us to fight. Until now!
Huh?
How dare you! Calling her Nanako-chan in that intimate way!
Yes, sir! I'm sorry, sir!
And for P3, I couldn't really tell you anything about him. Like, he's kind of moody and he saved the world. He's moody and he saved the world. Like, if you ask me to describe somebody like Nathan Drake, I could tell you anything about him. I could tell you this dude is cocky. He probably deserves to get socked in the jaw for talking all the smack that he talks.
Avast, you dirty dog! Nice. I was doing the... Oh, yeah, no, I know. I was doing the thing. Right.
His past is complicated. He has a brother that he really didn't get to know that much. His motto, greatness from small beginnings, is what's engraved on his ring, which really kind of informs the decisions and the things that he does over the course of the games. You could kind of decide, oh yeah, man, that's Nathan Drake. Like, he wouldn't, of course he would do that. But with characters who are mostly self-inserts, you get to thinking like, well, we should make a Byleth video, but what do we talk about? Like, all we really know are the things that Rhea did to him, which really just informs us about Rhea's character more than does him. I understand the reason they do this is that as a game developer, you want to give the player as many options as possible throughout the game, but it ends up creating this character that's just, well, I guess not even a character, just kind of this proxy that kind of you just play the game around and you don't really remember post-playing, because whose favorite character is Byleth? Like, really, whose favorite character is Byleth? Unless it's Femme Byleth, but those people don't like her for her character, all right? Like, stop lying to me. Stop lying to me. They're the same people. Like, why you gonna come tell me here? You gonna come tell me here the reason you like Femme Byleth is her fucking personality? Get the fuck up. Get the fuck out my face, bro. What really took me out of Three Houses was when we found out about like Byleth's past and his birth and the circumstances surrounding that. You find out that your past has been orchestrated by this lady that you thought was an ally, a superior, who your dad didn't trust, who your dad really didn't trust and really tried to impart that on you. Your dad dies and everything you're finding out is through her. You're not going to question that, bro? You're really not going to be like, I should make my own informed decision. And it's really crazy to me that like I'm just sitting here and I'm having these cognitive dissonance moments because I'm just like, bro, you can't really just be so pliant. How are you so pliant? But of course he's going to be pliant because he has to follow the narrative. He has to just do what the story requires of him. It doesn't really matter who he is or what little of a past that they give him. And that's really never going to inform the actions and decisions that he takes because he really isn't that person. Honestly, to summarize, my biggest gripe with self-insert characters like Byleth is the fact that their past really never informs the kind of people that they are. And that's only if they have a past. And usually they really don't have anything to go on. Like, giving characters things to worry about, gripes, and just people that they don't like just makes them seem more rounded. It's such a crazy thing, just doing that. But for some reason, self-insert characters are wildly adored by the community. I mean, I'm not really sure if they are adored. I'm just guessing they are. I guess I'm throwing people under the bus. I mean, otherwise, why are they still making them? There's so many. I swear to God, every other RPG that comes out, they're always like the protagonists from harem stories, harem anime. Just those dudes who are just like wet blankets, just like not even a character. You're just kind of like, bro, like what do you even like bring to the table? Like, what kind of substance do you have? Like, if I had to have a conversation with you, I think I would shoot myself because you bring nothing. So, hi, bye, oh my God, I'm so nice. Isn't that all I need to be a functioning human being? Like, no, you have to have likes, dislikes. This is why I love characters like Kazuma with all their flaws. They're just more interesting. You can relate to them more. You could just be like, yeah, he's a piece of shit. Of course he's a piece of shit. But he's a piece of shit that I could be like, I could see why you're a piece of shit. Because I understand your past. And it informs what kind of piece of shit you're gonna be.
いいえ、ショック死ですけど、トラックにひかれたと勘違いして。ショック死！なんだろう、初対面ってなんだろう、この子。あなたはひかれそうになった恐怖で失禁。気をしない近くの病院に。
So moving forward, honestly, I just like stories where the central protagonist or, all the characters are given love. They're allowed to develop over the course of the story, allowed to go through an arc that starts somewhere and ends somewhere else, preferably. I don't really appreciate it when the story happens with the character with the main character being like the most important thing to the story, but at the same time feeling like his role is just to just do everybody else's busy work, just without his own brain, just follow whatever everybody tells him, because homies will never really commentate on anything because they can't. Usually they don't even speak, even though they're voice acted. Man, another thing that makes self-inserts weird is just like the amount of dick writing that goes around with like the other characters. We've talked about this before, but it seems really odd, or just really disconnects you from the story and the other characters when a lot of their life problems or lifelong problems are solved by one dialogue option that you could have just chosen the other one and they would have agreed with you anyways. So you mean to tell me that Ingrid's whole dilemma of trying to be a knight and trying to be someone that helps her family can easily be solved by you telling her, why not do both?
An unease deep within me. I fear I will never escape this guilt I carry, that I have shunned my duty as a noble. Yes, I know. All I can do is accept this inner turmoil. Even with the academy days long behind us, you're still a professor through and through. Always listening to others' troubles and offering up your wisdom.
God damn, bro, come on. And don't get me started on Edelgard's my professor, bro. Like, come on, like really, everybody's around. Like, you're making it uncomfortable for everybody. Like, he's not your professor, he's everybody's professor, bro. I understand characters can have a crush on someone, but when you make it so blatant that it's Rize levels, like it just kind of takes you out of it. I'm just like, bro, every time she said that, I'm like, bro, shut up. Like, you serious? I'm just like, bro, like, can you calm down? You trying to get Chris Hansen on my man's Byleth? Like, bro. Can you imagine you start teaching out of school and students just start calling you that? Bro, I would be flabbergasted. I'd be like, you got to stop that. You got to stop that right now. I'm not cool with that. No, sir. Don't do that. But as fun as they usually are, self-insert characters, I think, are kind of problematic in the fact that they're not really allowed to be wholly fleshed out characters, more just a vehicle to move the plot forward, and really they just do whatever's required of them. Maybe you get one choice throughout the whole game. It's really just what route are you following, and you know, that's to the benefit of this game, because usually other games it's just like you get one route and all the choices that you made, they don't matter. You just follow the route. Really, that's all you do. There are certain mechanics that we could bring back to make those systems a little bit more interactive with the player, as opposed to just giving them dialogue options that really don't lead anywhere and waste your time, where they could just replace those with cutscenes. Because honestly, if I would have to choose between those dialogue options and cutscenes, I would go with cutscenes 100% of the time. I remember playing through Three Houses, whenever a cutscene came on, that's when I went full focus mode. I was just like, oh, okay, bet, it's time to pay attention. Unfortunately, it would be done like 10 seconds or 15 seconds if we're lucky later, and most egregiously, most of the endings, you know, for the characters are just, is that just a static PNG on top of a background, bro? I'm not crazy. Am I crazy? Comment down below, bro. It can't be that. It cannot be that, because, bro, could you imagine it was somebody's whole job to just be like, all right, on the team, you joined today, all you gotta do is take these PNGs, put it on top of this picture, and you're gonna be golden, bro. Yeah, that's all you gotta do. That's all you gotta do. And of course, fans are gonna be happy with that. Why wouldn't they be happy with that? Come on. But yeah, guys, those are my thoughts on self-insert characters. Thank you for checking out the video. It was really more of a quick one today, nothing really too specific, but we'll probably talk more about this when it gets to Persona month, when we're focusing on the Persona protagonists, which is going to happen very soon. So after this month, when we're done with Fire Emblem, we're going to move on to Persona. Maybe something else before, but definitely we're replaying the games now, so we could like be ready for that. So if you like that, subscribe for more videos, and we'll have more Fire Emblem videos for you coming soon. Peace.